Tell me about Paul Pogba, your perception of him as a Frenchman and how he's doing for France.
Well, I was covering his first press conference at Clairefontaine, the national training center just outside Paris, and it was very moving to see such a young man who was saying, well, you know, this is my first time with the French national team, and it was around his birthday, I think on his birthday or just around his birthday, and he seemed very endearing, very moving, a really young gentleman, and I was actually surprised to see what he became later on, not in terms of a player, but in terms of his style. He was quite show-off. I found that I was surprised by that, because from what I saw during his very first press conference, he was just a very young, very keen young gentleman.
Is he popular in France?
He's immensely popular in France. Yeah, he's a huge player, and I think a lot of people love him. And also, he comes from a humble, he has had humble beginnings. Comes from less affluent parts of the suburbs of Paris. So I think a lot of people, like him.
Why does Paris, or the suburbs of Paris, produce all these footballers? It's incredible. Places like Les Olets, 20,000 people, 3 or 4 world-class players.
You know what? Whether you're in Naples, Paris, or Rio, or Liverpool. Football, the beauty of football, it's a game for everybody. It's a game also for the poor. And when you're a young little guy, maybe you're not lucky enough to go on vacation far away. So what you do is play with the ball, and that happens in the Paris of suburbs too. And it happened to Pogba, along with many other players. And it was the same for Platini. You know, he was a white guy, but he was actually an immigrant family. He was an Italian, and he's one of those guys. It's just, you know, different colors, but the same story. Young kids who make their way out, become great people, celebrities, rich, thanks to this little round ball.
In Manchester, Pogba is very popular. He plays some excellent games. The fans would like to see a little bit more consistency, more 8 and 9s, and maybe occasionally he puts in a 5 or a 6. And is it the same for France?
I think it is the same for France, but bear in mind that Paul Pogba is still young. He still has a long way to go, and he has probably 1 to maybe 3 World Cups ahead of him. So he has time to improve. Yes, he could be more consistent, but it's always really harsh. And you could say the same about Mbappe. Maybe he's not going to produce what we expect from him in the coming years, but he still will have been an extremely talented player. And I think Paul Pogba has not given the best of himself yet. He has still some more to give to us French people, but to the rest of the world.
Are you confident France can win the World Cup?
I am.
David De Gea has been a big talking point in this World Cup for Spain. What's your view on it?
I think he just couldn't handle the pressure psychologically, because he's a great goalkeeper. On a team level, we've seen that for a couple of years how he played in Manchester United. So maybe bad luck, some psychological issues, but potentially he can be the #1 goalkeeper in the world.
So you have confidence in him? You think he should be Spain's #1 goalkeeper?
Yes.
Because for Manchester United, he's the best player season after season.
Yes, you can't judge him for one mistake. I think he's still a great player.
And some of the criticism has been quite strong about him.
Right, because people expect him to play the same way as he plays in United, and when he didn't, then he would say, of course, he will get the criticism. But I think he has the quality to still be #1 for Spain and #1 for Manchester United.
And Marouane Fellaini and Romelu Lukaku have been doing well. What have you made of them in this World Cup?
What did you say?
What have you made of their performances in this World Cup?
It's good performances actually. It's not the only guy from Manchester, because there are other players from also Manchester, but Manchester City. And we could find that they had a great experience in Manchester, so we could see that on the field that the produces the like kind of English like game. It's the same, and they always play against each other, and that's a huge that has a huge impact on the other teams, because we have like a huge advantages that all of the most of Belgian players are playing in England.
So the goal against Brazil, the second goal between Lukaku and Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah, that was
made in Manchester.
Yeah, that's made in actually Manchester, made in England, because they have the habit to play together on the same field, not on the same field, but like sometimes they are playing against each other, and they have like the same instruction. And so we could see last game that they produce what they learn in England, and that's what's matter.
What do you think of Marouane Fellaini?
Marouane Fellaini is someone that he's actually a very good player. He was not at the beginning of the game. Oh yeah, he was, but he's the guy that he has a good heart. Like he always he's like the safety guy in the Belgian team because we can trust in him. Like, which I mean that this guy is always where he has to be, and he always like saving our team with his head and with his foot. And you know, it's someone that we know that we can trust in Marouane Fellaini, even if he's not always starting the game. When he enters in the game, we know that's just awesome what he's gonna do.
Romelu Lukaku?
Romelu Lukaku is someone with great physique. That's the biggest like advantages of this player, is that he's someone with a physique like he's a monster, this guy, and he can create some places in the defense of the other teams, and it's not like he's actually scoring a lot of goals, but it's not only like Lukaku is made, it's also because we have a team and we have like habits to pass some like kind of Kevin De Bruyne. This guy just it's like the angel of Lukaku, because this guy is making Lukaku bigger and like better.
Adnan Januzaj?
Adnan Januzaj is not playing like often, but I don't really know this player because he's not playing often, but I know that we can also trust in him. This guy is like the Belgian mentality. Even if he's not playing, he's always like behind the team, and he's always like supporting the other players that are playing. And I know that Martinez, if Martinez wanted like go say, okay, Januzaj, I know you enter and you make your game, I know that Januzaj is gonna make it, and I know that Januzaj is just a player that is like someone that we can trust in it, and even if he's not playing, we know that he's like a good value for the team, because he's always like supporting the other one and always say, hey, good, let's go on the field and let's fight against the other team.